Hey, big congratulations to the Minnesota Timberwolves for knocking off the defending champion Denver Nuggets. I really hope they win the chip. Anyways, we got the second sneak peek, and unsurprisingly, it's exactly who had been data mined 10 days ago, or who I made a video about 10 days ago, who had been data mined 2 weeks ago. Wielding reality-altering chaos magic. She's a force to be reckoned with. Scarlet Witch is ready to unleash her full power as she returns to Marvel Future Fight once again. So that's pretty sick. It's a pretty nice sneak peek. I haven't seen it on YouTube, so I haven't heard the audio, but let's check this out here. This superhero who can warp and alter reality, has also gained new powers together with her twin brother, the Chaotic Witch. Check out the new look and abilities, we all know what that means, of this superhero who has strong telekinesis abilities and expert knowledge of sorcery. We'll announce more information through the patch details later. So, to give you guys, before we go deeper into the sneak peek and stuff, to give you guys a little timeline on the patch notes and stuff like that, they should be dropping tonight. So this video goes live at 9 a.m. The patch notes usually drop around like 2-3 a.m. the next day. So you can say from whenever this dropped in your time zone, right? Whenever this sneak peek dropped, it's about like 26 hours, 27 hours after that. It's not an exact time. It sort of fluctuates here and there, but yeah, it's a little more than a day after this sneak peek drops. That's when we'll get the patch notes, and of course, so that means, so Tuesday, very early in the morning, like 2-3 a.m., we get the patch notes, and then Tuesday night, so tomorrow night, right, like 36 hours from when this video goes out, we will be getting the update. It's going to be a patch update. It's not going to be a maintenance update, so you're just going to have to close your game and reopen it around 10 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday night. And then when you do that, you'll get prompted to download the update. You'll download it, and then boom, Tier 4 Quicksilver, new uniform, Tier 4 Wanda, new uniform, and whatever else may be lurking in that update. If we're going to get the dice game, if we're going to get the chasing down the villain game mode, if we're going to be seeing the new collection thing, we don't know. Could actually be a big update, could be a small update. Let's take a look at the sneak peek now. Ooh, it's very spooky. Ooh, very spooky audio. I like. Yeah, it's pretty unsettling. Unsettling vibes is how I would describe it. Now, I believe the Tier 4 sneak peek, everybody always wants to know where the Tier 4 is. I thought it was in her hands earlier. It's not. I believe, she looks really good, by the way. I believe it's at the beginning. Commander posted on Twitter as well, and he sort of circled where he thinks it is. I think it's around 5 seconds. I think it might be this right here. That's a T, and that's an I and a V. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard to read. I did that thing again where I... Anyways, yeah, she's definitely getting a Tier 4. Let's be real. They data mined the Tier 4. And it has the exact same wording where it's the new look, which is the uniform, and abilities, which would be the Tier 4. So she's definitely getting a Tier 4. I just can't tell exactly where the Tier 4 sneak is. I think it's here, but I could be wrong. Now, as far as the look goes, right, as far as the look goes that we're getting for her, this is a new look. It may not be her best look. Some people are saying it's really nice. Some people are saying it's not very good. I like it. It looks clean. It looks minimal. It looks, you know, cool. And it looks pretty modern as well. So here is an example of it. I don't know who originated this design for Scarlet Witch. I know that Steve Dodderman drew probably one of the most badass versions of it, or like he probably designed it. He probably like is the original designer here, but I didn't want to give him 100% cred right away without, you know, acknowledging the possibility that I'm completely wrong, because I'm not up to date with modern comics at all. So yeah, but this is really cool. And I don't know if this was designed simultaneously with all of the other, what was that, Hellfire Gala stuff. But this is in the same motif as the Hellfire Gala stuff, where it's designed as, you know, in like a three-way, like front, back, and then sort of action pose. And you've got the different colors here, and you've got sort of like details and explanations on the design. And this was really popular a couple years ago, if you guys remember, especially in 2020, I think it's 2021. When we got the Hellfire Gala stuff for Colossus and Betsy and stuff. This was a very popular way of showcasing all of the different Hellfire Gala outfits. And if you actually just go to Google and search Hellfire Gala, you will see tons of these, right? So you can see, yeah, you can see just stuff like this, and it's the exact same sort of style here, right? You have all the different groups, and then you have the individual characters getting like little breakdowns of what their outfits look like and why. And there's dozens of these. There's genuinely dozens of these. This is actually a cover, but again, it follows the same motif. I remember making a video talking about, man, if we got the Storm one, it would be super duper cool. And yeah, it would. And we got Professor X. We didn't get too many. We didn't get too many. We got Colossus, we got Betsy, we got Professor X. We got a couple more. Mystique's looks very close to her Hellfire Gala one as well. But yeah, it seems like we're getting you know, pseudo Hellfire option for Scarlet. I don't think it's going to be called Hellfire, but yeah, very, very cool stuff here. Now, one thing that I accidentally spoiled when I was talking about this is he actually, Dodderman actually made another design, which is evil Scarlet Witch. So it's pretty cool. It's more demonic. It's much more like Victorian vibes, vampire vibes. And yeah, especially down here, this looks sick. This looks absolutely insane. It kind of reminds me of like Sentry Void kind of situation. I'm not saying I want another Universal villain, okay? We've gotten our fill of Universal villains. I'm just saying, if they were to release this uniform in a year or a year and a half, and they were to, you know, completely change around her kit, let's say, for example, right? If I were the MFF devs, here's what I would do. I would release this uniform. I would make her a little bit better than Captain Marvel as an alternative to people who don't want to use Captain Marvel or whatever. Maybe she's easier to play than Captain Marvel, but she's for PvE, right? I would make her for PvE. And then in a year or two, I would drop this uniform. And I'd be like, surprise, bitches. And I would make a Scarlet Witch PvP uniform where she's like crazy strong for PvP. Maybe not 2 years, maybe like a year, because we're going to get like tier 5 eventually, right? So, yeah, no, I'm kidding about the tier 5. I'm kidding, but not really about the tier 5 thing. But I just think this uniform is sick. I don't mean to already be looking to the future, and I know that's exactly what I'm doing. But, yeah, man, I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you. If it's between this and this, yeah, I think this one's way cooler. I really do. But maybe this is just too villainous to be billed as a hero uniform, and they definitely want to keep her a hero. They probably never want to make Scarlet Witch a villain. Let's be real here. Even with Doctor Strange 2, where she's clearly the antagonist, guess what? The devs made her a hero in the game. So I don't think we're ever really going to get a villain Scarlet Witch, but who knows? As far as the cost goes for Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, I know that a lot of people have been talking about, and rightfully so, the meme where they introduced the system this year as a way to give us more tier 4 materials, give us more tier 4s, but then they just release a slew of native tier 2 and native tier 3 tier 4s that don't apply to the system. And that's absolutely correct. You're not wrong there. We've really only had Mystique, Echo, and Angel, which are all speed types with, you know, insignificant levels of meta relevance added to this list recently. You do have, you know, from last year, from the end of last year, Captain Marvel and Hela, but one of them is, you know, at risk of being replaced already with just whatever 5 months into 5-6 months into their relevance there. So yeah, I do understand that. However, I do want to point out a small consolation here. I'm not really, you know, on the dev side as far as the state of tier 4 materials. I still think we need a little bit more. I think we're almost there, but I do think we still need more. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch aren't exactly the same cost as other full cost native tier 2s. It's really weird because it's confusing because their cost in other ways is the same. For example, 8,800, like Scarlet Witch takes 8,800 black antimatter to get to tier 2, which is the same as other native tier 2s, like full cost native tier 2s, right? However, Quicksilver costs 4,400, which makes him a half cost native tier 2, like some of the Black Order. And then their uniforms also do not cost the same as native tier 2s. So again, we don't really know exactly what the reasoning is for this for the devs, despite the fact that they're released at the same time, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, despite the fact that they're both world bosses. They have completely different costs in some ways and then completely similar costs in other ways. But in both cases, they don't end up being exactly the same price as regular full cost native tier 2s. They're sort of in the same zone of value / cost as someone like Doctor Strange. A little bit more expensive than Doctor Strange, but not as expensive as a fully native tier 2, tier 4 like Thanos or something like that. You know, so Scarlet Witch will have the same black antimatter cost as Thanos, but then the uniform will be cheaper. It's very confusing. And then Quicksilver will be cheaper on both, you know, in both regards. So I just wanted to point that out because people have been sort of stressing about the cost. They're definitely going to be expensive. Don't get me wrong, you know, particularly if you haven't built them up. But also don't feel the same FOMO that you may have felt in the past because they're no longer needed for unlocking World Boss Legend. The World Boss Legend unlock requirements have been completely changed. I wish I could view them. I can't. But they've been completely changed. And unlocking Null is super duper easy now. It doesn't require you to build up, you know, Scarlet Witch and build up Quicksilver to 5 stars and all this blah, blah, blah. Go beat Cable 50 times. All that nonsense was done away with. So as much as these characters are cool, and I frankly do think they're both very cool, you know, they are very expensive and you can certainly get by in the meta without them. That being said, I am speaking partially in speculation. It's possible that these two are going to completely rip the meta's ass apart. That's absolutely a possibility. I kind of doubt it with the recent introduction of Sentry and things like that. I kind of doubt at least the PvP side of things is not going to be upended very much. And then from the PvE side of things, Speed Hero males don't have a lot of PvE relevance in terms of meta-ness. Like, he can't replace anyone for ABX ABL unless they change his typing. And then the only one she risks or threatens to replace is Captain Marvel, which, yeah, she can replace Captain Marvel for a few days, but it's not going to be as big of a replacement as, let's say, when Luna replaced Spider-Gwen, when Gladiator replaced Black Panther, or things like that, you know, when Hulk replaced Dr. Octopus. Those had more of an impact on the meta when, for example, Magneto Seasonal replaced who we're using at the time, Superior Iron Man, Mephisto. Those were much bigger shifts in terms of the number of days changed and the power spike therein, you know, with those characters swapped. So yeah, anywho, I'm excited for the update, but I just don't want people to panic too much. Very, very popular characters, yes. Is the game going to completely revolve around them? Tough to say, but I would still guess probably not, because of the way that recent, you know, releases, Silver Surfer, Sentry, etc., have already made the game kind of revolve around these characters. But yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of Scarlet Witch. Is this even her second best look? What do you think? I think it might be one of her best looks, but I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content. See you guys tomorrow in the patch notes and tomorrow night in the live stream. Yeah, maybe day 1 tier 4, day 1 double tier 4. Should I do it? Should I do it? Do I have enough? I should have enough materials for it. But yeah, smash the like button if you enjoyed the content. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.